nung makita ko ang aming lola, yung nanay niya, nakita niya kung patay. Umiyak po ang tatay ko at ako po hanapin. Nandun po ako sa palaya. Pagkatapos po, kinuha kami, dinala na kami doon sa kubo-kubo.
So when they traveled, the two women were freed, and then they thought they were happy. They thought they were being freed. It turned out that an ITAR battalion was right behind them. So as they walked towards the barangay, towards her barrio, they spent the evening in another garrison, and they saw other military sex slaves there. And on that night, I and my grandmother were raped again. But it was very painful for her, precisely because she witnessed how her elderly grandmother was also raped by the soldiers. The next day, they continued with their travel. And as they were approaching, the Japanese thought that Fidentia and her grandmother were personally known to the guerrilla fighters. But as they were approaching, the guerrilla fighters were so vigilant. One of them shouted, "Alto la puñeta." It's a Spanish phrase which means, raise your guns and shoot. And indeed, the soldiers were able to kill the head of the Japanese battalion. In retaliation, the Japanese immediately shot her grandmother. And she was so shocked, she ran away towards the rice fields. But unfortunately, one soldier followed her and raped her again in the rice field. And her last portion of the story, she said that after the gunfire had stopped, her father, the Japanese brought the cadavers with them. And then her father and the other menfolk started coming out from hiding. And her father was so disheartened to see that his mother had been shot dead. So he went further on to look for Lola Fidentia and found her lying in the rice fields.
Pagkatapos po, nung ikalawang araw, ilinibing na po yung aking yung aking lola. Pagkatapos po, ako po'y kinakausap yung tatay ko. Hindi po ako makasagot. Dahil napakasakit po ang aking nararamdaman. Pagkatapos po yun, lumipas po siguro ng mga isang buwan, binabalik-balikan po nila ako. Pero ang mga tatay ko, nagtatago na po doon sa loob ng tunnel.
After a month after the incident, the Japanese would still come to our barrio, perhaps to look for food. And the menfolk, including her father, would immediately go in hiding into the tunnels. But she remained outside. She also said that after her father had buried her grandmother 2 days later, her father tried to ask her what happened to her, and she couldn't speak out. Psychologically, she was in a state of shock, and she was in a catatonic state. That's the technical term.
Pagkatapos po, hindi na po bumabalik yung mga hapon. Siguro po, lumipat na po sila ng ibang lugar. Kaya, hanggang doon po ang naging istorya ko. Pero, meron po rin akong sasabihin. Ito pong organisasyon na ito, unang-una po, kung ilalayo si Ms. Nelia Santo, yun po ang nagsimula dito sa organisasyon ito. Ang pangalan po yung una niyang itinayo, Lila Pilipina. Iyon po ang nabuo niyang organisasyon. Pagkatapos po, nung kami po pumunta sa Africa, kasama ko po si Ma'am Nelia at saka yung isang lola. Di naikot po namin yung Africa, North, South Africa. Tapos po pumunta pa kami doon sa Rubik Island ata yun. Pagkatapos po, nung kami po dumating doon sa Pilipinas, nagulat na lang po kami. Dahil yung iniwanan ni Ma'am Nelia, parang sekretarya niya, inimpeach po kami. Inalis po kami sa Lila. Ngayon, ang sabi niya, hindi na kayo pwede dito. Ngayon po, napakasakit naman ata. bakit kami po yan nagsimula sa organisasyon pagkatapos i-impress na kami. Ngayon, ang ginawa naman po ni Ma'am Nelia, nagtayo po ng panibagong organisasyon. Pero kami po ay doon, sumama kay Miss Nelia Sancho. Ang pangalan po yung naging organisasyon namin, Lola Campañera. Iyon po ngayon ang dinadala namin organisasyon. At iyon ang kasama namin si Christy.
Several months, the Japanese altogether stopped going to the barrio, and she presumed that they had moved to other places. And then she digressed to another topic about the organization. She said that she belonged to the original organization, which is Lila Pilipina, and it was organized by a certain Nelia Sancho. And one time in 2000, she was invited, she and Lola Julia Porras, si
Lola Porras, tsaka si Lola Amonita.
Okay, the three of them, these three people underwent counseling. They're very powerful speakers. Julia Porras, who comes in the book under the pseudonym Josefina, Amonita Balahadja, and Lola Fidencio David. The three of them were invited by Nelia to an international conference held in South Africa, and they traveled North and South Africa. And she said that when they returned to the Philippines, the one who took over Nelia's position, she used the word impeach them. They were asked to leave the organization, and she said it was a very painful experience for her because she was with the original organizers of Lila Pilipina.
Pagkatapos pong dumating na po kami dun sa amin, nakuha ko po dito yung resolution. Pagkatapos po, nung kami dumating na dun sa amin, ngayon po, ang ginawa ni Ma'am Nelia, dinala po namin dun sa kongreso at ipakita po yung dala-dala kong resolution. Nandun po mga senador, saka mga iba-iba, tapos kami mga lola, 10 kami na nandoon. Pagkatapos po, nung ipresenta po yung resolution na yun, ang sabi yung mga congressman doon, o sige, a-approvean namin ito. Ay di kami po ay masasaya dahil sabi namin, nakamit na namin ang katarungan. Yung pala, lumipas po ng mga ilang araw na naman, ngayon po sinabi nila na, yun daw, binigay nila sa amin na resolution, hindi daw nila inaprubahan sapagkat hindi ko po alam kung anong dahilan. Ngayon po, ang ginawa na naman namin, pumunta po kami doon sa harap ng Japanese Embassy at doon po kami nagsasalita. Bakit inaprubahan nyo? Mas mayigit pa nga yung ibang bansa at sila ay pumayag. Bakit dito sa atin? Ngayon ang sabi po nila, itutuloy namin. Pero hanggang ngayon po, wala pa rin nangyayari. Kagaya po nung kumakandidato si Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, Vice President pa lang po. Tinulungan po namin. Ang sabi niya nung siya nanalo, sige, tutulungan ko kayo. Pero nung nanalo na po, nung kami pumunta, hindi rin po pinapansin yung aming ilinalapit sa kanya. Hanggat hindi po siya naging presidente ulit, lumapit na naman po kami doon. Wala rin po. Ang sabi namin, ano ba yan? Ginagawa niyo ba kaming loko-loko? Ang nangyari sa amin, napakasakit. Nung ikalawang digmaan ng pandemic, bakit hindi niyo harapin? Ayun po ang sabi namin, lahat ng mga lula. Ang mga lula na ngayon po, iilan-ilan na kami na natira. Namatay na po lahat sila. 22 taong kami lumalaban, pero hindi pa rin namin nakamit ang katarungan. Kaya sana po ako, nagpapasalamat ako sa nag-imbita sa amin at kayong lahat po dito, na sana po ipagpatuloy nyo ang aming laban para makamit din po namin ang katarungan. Lahat po kayo, nagpapasalamat ako. Lalong-lalo na sa mga lahat ng tao na nag-imbita ulit at ako po yung makaharap na naman ninyo dito.
Aside from organizational problems, because the original organization broke up into 3, and they said they were forced out of it, so they were forced to put up a 3rd organization. She said, apart from this, her grievances also has something to do with the lack of political support from our own government. She said that after coming from Canada, she was bringing a copy of the resolution from the Canadian Parliament. She and Nelia and several survivors went to the Philippine Congress, and they were showing this, as proof that another government has so given them support. And at first, the people, the congressmen and women that they spoke to were supportive and even gave them a draft resolution. But when it was time to sign, they were rebuffed again, and on the reasoning that there was no quorum. But she said, if there was no quorum in 2007, up to now, it's already 2013, no resolution had been passed. She bewails the fact that most of the people who were with her campaigning, Manila-based lolas, are already deceased. They have died. So it's really only Lola Fidencia standing. We have several other lolas because Rojas is way far from Manila.
Meron po akong ipapalitin sa inyo na tula. Ito pong tula na ito ay meron siyang isang manunulat na ang pangalan niya ay Adisa Ramos. Ang lahat po yung aming kwento, isinulat niya pagkatapos ginawa niya pong tula. Kaya ito po ay ipaparinig ko sa inyo para marinig ninyo. Ang pamagat po, ang tulang ito ay babae. Babae, gumamilang marikit, puno ng pangarap at talino, pagmamahal at ligaya, magsasaka, manggagawa, mananahi, tindera, nurse, katulong, nagsilbi, nagtiis, lumaki sa kahirapan. Ako ay babae, nilinglang, pinugbog ng walang dahilan, minusala ng bibig, biktima ng digmaan, biktima ng karahasan, bulaklak na naputol sa tangkay, nalanta at nakahandusay. Subalit, ako ay babae, taas nung matatag, hindi natatakot, hindi sumusuko sa gitna ng pagsasamantala. Nagsikap, nagpatuloy, humarap sa katotohanan, naghanap ng kaligayahan, namulat, nagising, tumindig, lumaba hanggang sa tagumpay ng katarungan. Ipaglaban ang karapatan, ang mga kababaihan, lalong-lalo na sa comfort woman. Kaya po ako ngayon nagsasalita dito, maski po umiiyak ako, sumasakit po sa akin. Kaya po, sana po suportahan niyo po kami para sa ganun, makamit namin ang katarungan. Hindi po kami titigil hanggat hindi namin makamit ang katarungan. Kaya marami po sa inyong lahat dahil kayo po ay sumusuporta sa amin hanggang ngayon.